Most people think budgeting is about saving money, cutting coffees, skipping dinners, saying no to things they enjoy. And that's exactly why most people hate budgeting and eventually quit. Because saving feels like punishment. But let me tell you something uncomfortable right from the start. If you believe budgeting is about saving, you're already losing. You can earn more money, save a little here and there, and still feel broke at the end of every month. Your money disappears, your stress stays, and you're left wondering what went wrong. The problem was never how much you earn. The real problem is that your money is running your life instead of you running your money. Budgeting is not about living small or cutting joy out of your life. It's not about spreadsheets that make you feel guilty or rules that make you feel trapped. Budgeting is about control. It's about deciding in advance where your money will go instead of reacting after it's already gone. When you have control, you don't feel anxious every time you check your bank balance. You don't feel guilty when you spend because the spending was planned. Control gives you clarity, confidence, and freedom. And once you understand this shift from saving to control, you stop feeling restricted by money and start feeling powerful with it. Most people start budgeting with one goal in mind: saving money. They tell themselves they'll spend less, cut back, and finally be disciplined. But discipline without direction doesn't last. You save for a few weeks, then one bad day, one emotional moment, or one unexpected expense wipes it all out. That's when people conclude budgeting doesn't work. In reality, budgeting failed because it was built on restriction instead of control. Saving is reactive. You save what's left, hoping it's enough. Control is proactive. It decides first, then acts. When you don't control your money controls you through impulses, habits, and emotions you never stop to question. Control starts with awareness, and awareness is what most people avoid. They don't actually know where their money goes, only that it's gone. That uncertainty creates anxiety. Every notification from the bank feels like a threat. Budgeting fixes this not by forcing you to save, but by forcing you to see. Seeing your spending clearly is uncomfortable at first, but it's also empowering. The moment you know the truth, you regain authority. Control isn't about perfection. It's about honesty. And honesty is what turns money from a source of stress into a tool you can actually use. When you control your money, spending stops feeling like a mistake. It becomes a decision. That shift alone changes everything. Instead of guilt after spending, you feel confidence because the money had a purpose. You didn't accidentally spend it. You chose to. Control gives you permission to enjoy your money without fear because enjoyment is part of the plan, not an exception to it. This is why people with control look calm even if they don't earn more. They trust their system. And trust beats income every time when it comes to peace of mind. Most people lose control not because of big purchases, but because of small, repeated decisions they never questioned. Subscriptions, convenience spending, emotional rewards, and lifestyle creep quietly drain power away. These aren't money problems. They're decision problems. Budgeting brings those decisions to the surface. It forces you to ask, is this worth it? Not in a judgmental way, but in an intentional one. Control isn't saying no to everything. It's saying yes to what matters and no to what doesn't without second-guessing yourself later. Emotions play a bigger role in money than logic ever will. People spend to feel better, to feel successful, to feel in control, ironically losing control in the process. A control-based budget doesn't fight emotions. It accounts for them. It plans for enjoyment, rest, and reward so you don't rebel against your own system. When budgeting respects human behavior, it becomes sustainable. That's when it stops feeling like a chore and starts feeling like a strategy. Control also removes the constant mental noise around money. You stop calculating every decision in your head. You already know what's available and what's not. That clarity frees up mental energy. You think better, plan better, and act with confidence. Money becomes quiet. And when money is quiet, life gets louder in a good way. A control-first budget doesn't need to be complicated. It needs to be realistic. You track what's actually happening, not what you wish would happen. You decide priorities before money slips away. Every dollar has a role, even the fun ones. And instead of punishing yourself for mistakes, you adjust. Control adapts, chaos repeats. This flexibility is what keeps the system alive long-term. At the end of the day, budgeting isn't about how much you save. It's about how much power you reclaim. When you control your money, you control your stress, your choices, and your future direction. Saving becomes a natural outcome, not a forced goal. And once control is in place, money stops being something you fear and starts being something you command. At the end of the day, budgeting was never meant to make you feel small, restricted, or deprived. It was meant to put you back in control. Saving money is not the goal, it's the side effect of knowing exactly where your money goes and why it goes there. When you stop reacting to money and start directing it, everything changes. The stress fades, the guilt disappears, and confidence replaces confusion. You stop asking where your money went and start deciding where it will go next. And that's real power. Because when you control your money, you're not just managing numbers, you're taking control of your time, your choices, and your future.